Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and this is an after-hours session starting right now, and I'll probably get out of here around 8:15, so we have a little less than 2 hours. Want to go over some things, want to do a little research. I got to do some emails. I'm going to mess around, but I'm going to record and some of the more important things and some of the watch lists and try to send it out to people who might miss it tonight. Just get us prepared for tomorrow, so it'll be time valued and it'll probably be good to the end of the week. Some of the information and data on here. Veru is the first one we're going to talk about. So I heard news on it after hours. Jumped in it fast. Gave Deep Throat a call. He confirmed some big news in Veru. That Stifel came out with a $98. No, Jefferies came out with a $98 price target, and I was just laughing. I said, "Come on, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard." $98 target after it's trading. I hate that. I hate that about scammers. And you always get this with pumpers and stuff. You get a stock and it says, "Oh, the stock is going to the moon," but they just love to get off the ground. Going to the moon and putting a target of $100 and you're in at $1. To get $3 is a home run. And I would take $3. So I'm not looking for $100. No one's looking. They're hoping that just the mention of 100 gives them 3. But in this case, there is some actual news behind this. And apparently they just came out in the medical. If anybody wants to put that, oh, hey, Griller, if anybody wants to, kind of bring that link up there, I'll go over it. But apparently, they had an article in the New England Medical Journal or something like that for their COVID treatment and hospitalizations, and they came back with really good results. And I'm just paraphrasing it and making it up. It was a real good report in the New England Journal of Medicine or whatever, one of those highly touted pieces. So and that's been out there, and then people have been talking about and I'm always in the back of my head. It's like, how is a female condom company all of a sudden as a cancer company and curing COVID? I like that. Because we follow this stock. I followed this stock from the infant days. We were in it right after Veru broke away from whatever they were doing, and Steiner took this. And it was a female condom company. We were waiting to see how many condoms were sold in Africa to get a move. Now, how far have we come on this? And now we're in a situation where we could actually get some major COVID news. Now, I'm kind of anti-COVID news stocks, but this one also has now an attachment to the meme community, which makes it interesting. And because this one could catch fire, and there's a lot of shorts in it. So tomorrow is going to be interesting. I jumped in a little today, after hours when I heard it. I'm probably going to put an order in to sell, like $18, because I won't be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to see where this thing opens up. And I'm sure it's going to open up. I'm not going to say I'm sure, but I'm pretty positive it's going to gap up. I don't know how high, though. So I'm going to put an order in just to sell my shares on that gap up. I mean, I asked Deep Throat, he goes, "Hell no, I'm not going to give it up right now." Hold on a second, phone call. So I make a call, and apparently Jefferies interviewed Steiner, CEO, head honcho, Veru, and he's been not even, they weren't expecting, or they weren't hoping, I said. They were already taking orders. The government was asking not how much, but how fast can you make them, and how many can you make, like unlimited supply and stuff. So they were very, very comfortable and confident. Forget how it, I couldn't tell you how it came across exactly, but it came across to me. And I have to find the written part of that. I believe that's written out there, that he says that the government that has approached them and pretty much asked them how much can they make, and how fast. So it was like, they want this passed, they want this drug to make it to the final stages and be successful, and they probably already got. So that's a big drug. That's a big drug. There's a lot of people watching it. I mean, these things are going to shoot up, and then what's going to happen after COVID? They're going to do something. I don't know. It's a shot. Like I said, I'll probably be out of it tomorrow if it popped up above $18. The after hours right now, I'm no way I'm waiting for $20 or $98. Maybe I'll hold on to a little of it. Right now, trade in $15.34. Like I said, I think I'll put my order in maybe at $18 tonight. That always sounds too good to be true when it's with Steiner. I'm still skeptical of the whole thing. And because it was tainted by the memes. So after hours today also, we had a split announcement by GameStop. Now, this wasn't a big surprise because they mentioned this a few months ago. What happened here? Oh, no. It's not running here. I had a water running somewhere. Let me see what's going on. Hold on a second. So this is the article. Let me start this over because I have some audio on this. I want to hear what it says.
The newest wave of COVID-19 infections.
So, cancer drug risk cuts risk for death of hospitalized COVID.
Millions of Americans traveled over the July 4th weekend. TSA estimates that it screened over 60 million people from Friday through Sunday.
This is CBS News. It just came out.
The newest wave of COVID-19 infections that appear to be fueled by subvariants of the Omicron strain. So here is the editor-at-large for public health at Kaiser Health News. She's also an infectious disease specialist and epidemiologist at Bellevue Hospital and New York University's School of Medicine. This is a busy woman, which is why we are lucky to have you here, doctor. So let's talk about these new subvariants. I have known people who've recently gotten COVID who didn't get it for the last 2.5 years, and they were really, really sick. I don't know what kind of COVID they got, but so we have these subvariants of Omicron, BA4, BA5. How do they compare to the traditional?
Listen to this, but I'm going to read this. It's finding on a drug called Sabazazabalin. I remember that one. Were first announced early April by the drug maker Veru, which submitted an emergency use authorization request last month, and Food Administration signed off on it and added another option to the stable of drugs doctors turn to for treating hospitalized cases.
Has a harder time recognizing Omicron 4 and 5.
Effective treatment of the drug has significantly reduces death in hospitalized patients.
Omicron 4 and 5
Dr. Skolnick studied principal investigators at Veru's release, touting publication of results in the Journal of
if this virus looks so different?
NEJM
really
evidence.
Good question, and I know a lot of people are sort of like, well, why bother with a booster? What we see with the boosters, even if
Veru gave the drug 130. Veru gave the drug to 130 hospitalized adults who had underlying conditions that put them at risk of severe COVID-19, including having compromised immune systems and being over 65 or older. In the study, 45% placebo recipients who got standard of care treatment without the drug died. By comparison, 20% of the patients who also got the Veru's capsule on top of their other topical prescribed medications passed away, 20%. The overwhelmingly efficacy appearing to half the risk of deaths among these at-risk patients. So we halved it.
This may in fact be our second highest wave in terms of
drugs benefit appears to outpace the smaller mortality reduction seen in trials of other commonly deployed treatments in patients hospitalized for COVID-19 who are receiving supplemental oxygen like the steroid dexamethasone or antiviral remdesivir. However, many of those studies testing the drug are more patients in more patients than Veru's relatively small clinical trial. The share of patients in the placebo group who died also appear worse than in other trials. So as I said, the share of patients in the placebo group who died also appears worse than in other trials, which can risk exaggerating the drug's effect.
This is going to be the next big pandemic, landing people in the hospital. But we also don't want this to spread.
Veru said it already scaled up manufacturing of the drug in hopes of being able to produce enough capsules to meet demand if it's authorized.
They could lose, miscarry their pregnancy.
So they'll probably get this. I thought they were going to talk about it, but they weren't. So, sorry to have that on the background. Let me take a look at the float. The float. 163 million shares. Well, it's not that small. Also, don't forget the shares shorted on Veru. It's quite a bit of shares shorted. So that might also work for a pop tomorrow on that. We sold more of the Snowflake today, right at the highs, or at the time it was at the highs. I think it was at the highs. It was, yeah, right at the open. Got up at 160, sold it. It never looked back. I considered getting back into it down in the 154 area. Never did. It popped back up to 156, back down to 154, chopped around. I would like to get a little lower. I'm not hoping for a market correction or a smackdown, but I'm very cautious in buying anything, even this bounce. I'm afraid this bounce, my biggest fear is that bounce continues and it kind of leaves some stock in the dust where there were, maybe that 150 area is really good, and this pullback up for 160 is really the only opportunity you're going to have. So, I'm a little concerned about staying out too much of those. GameStop announced this split after hours today, and this was kind of pre-announced that they were looking to do that, and it got voted on and approved, so they announced it's going to happen in probably a few weeks. But 4-for-1 split, trading up after hours, hanging in there. I think I was looking at it here, seeing what. I think it's a short, honestly. I think it's a short. Next up here, got some cheap stocks over the last couple of weeks. None of them are really doing much. Still holding on to them. The quality names, though, that I want to, love to. Oh, we got out of the LABU. We got saved a nice trade, LABU. Eventually it popped up here. I was very surprised. The leveraged ETFs have been really crazy. I mean, all of them. Every industry, they've just been very, very, this from the 21st till now, less than a month, maybe 14 days, it's up 100%. A double. 100% off of that. If I would only known, I thought we were going to get a reverse split. It was going to just mess up everything, and $4. But hey, now it still looks like it has momentum too. I mean, the momentum was actually starting to lift here. So that's something interesting. Teva, not doing much. I'm in it here. Just not doing much. Here, we had a divergence before. Kind of an interesting channel here. If I zoom in on it, you can see it's kind of organized. Pretty organized little channel. We'll identify any divergence if they come up here in the next couple hours. And I gotta get out of here, but this is starting to move back up a little. The big picture, though, I mean, this is this is a lot of chop here. This is a lot of chop over the last, I don't know, till the 17th, 18th. Chop. That blue line was the kind of the key area. When we broke out of it today, when we broke through that line today after the Fed minutes, let's actually kind of go over this. Let's go over today's action, because I kind of missed some setups. Didn't take the ones. I had a bot take one for me, a couple of them for me. I think we were just a lot of chop. It was a lot of chop in the morning. As you zoom out, you can really see it. You can see these tighter channels. This nice tight channel up, nice tight channel down, channel, but then look at this. This got really wickedly back and forth, and then kind of grinded down, expecting a little pop on it into the Fed, but after that, you know, here it is. So market here kind of finally came out, started drifting lower. We had a little divergence there, popped up to the trend line, came back down. We had a big divergence here, and this was a 5-minute divergence. It was also a 11:30 time frame, which yesterday, I don't know about the day before, but yesterday the market made a low at 11:30. The European closed. There was a lot of overnight selling with Europe. Same thing today. It was kind of an overnight bias to the downside after Europe opened up. So there was a lot, you know, but when the Europe closes, that selling disappears and buying takes over. And it happened 2 days in a row. So we're going to watch that level tomorrow. You know, watch 11:30. If you have an identical setup here, a divergence with 11:30, man, we want to get in big there. You know, these are the spots you want to jump on. The channel here continued to move up, and the electronic snake has an amazing way, because you could get into a divergence and then move up, and then eventually comes back just enough. Because what happens is, in this case, you get the divergence. Say you get in here where the blue line is. All right. Once you get to our first target where the stochastics are rotated up over the 80 line, you take profits. So that's a good place to take profits, because most likely with that 80 line, you're going to kind of drift back. So, and you move your stop up to break even, but it comes back enough to grab your stop before heading higher. It's amazing how the market will come back after it went here and it popped. People are probably saying, all right, this is a breakout. I want to put my stop under the recent low, and then it'll come back down, take it out, and then head higher. It's just amazing how it'll search and destroy stops. Well, this is a big search and destroy area here, and we marked it out for the last, you know, early this morning. We ran up to it, then we ran up to it again, and we failed. And then here at this point, we kind of blew. Once you blew through it, and that all started here with the divergence. This was the Fed minutes being released, so we got a choppy candle there, and then a follow through it, and then we kind of had a kind of just a, you know, a whipsaw type of action, and then we started kind of just drifting lower, and we started to see a divergence here. At this point right here, I got up to go to the bathroom. I said, oh, look, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. I come back, and the market's up here. It was just a couple minutes later. It's just right up here. I said, what the heck happened? In the chat room, they said, well, can you leave again? So then the market flagged out, popped up, dropped down at the end of the day, and this is where we got left off. So the setups were there. The divergence was there. Great divergence there. This was a nice channel. The rotation, the 60 has been coming in a big part of, you know, reading the markets for me. This 60-10 stochastic. If it's up here and it's staying up here, the overall trend is up, and you can pretty much buy every rotation on the fastest stochastics. It's just those are the good flags. And this is a good setup, you know. even for a couple points, you know. And then there was a lot of, you know, once you have an established pattern like this, you get down to these trend lines. These are where the divergences typically happen. This was a really nice one right here. It was inside this channel. We made a low, and then we kind of started to move back up, and then flushed down real fast. And the 14.3 stochastic here, look how high that is above that 20 line, and how low this was. This is a very steeper than this, and better than this. This was actually dropped under the 20. Whenever you see the 14.3 have a better divergence than the 9.3, it's a special sign. It's a special sign, because those are real big moves. And the same thing if it's a 44. 44, just consider these little different time frames. So you're having multiple divergences. The 44 here, that's a slight divergence too. You don't see that often on the 44. When I see it on the 44 and the 14.3, it's usually better than the 9.3. It's a bigger divergence, usually a bottom. It's usually the biggest move of the day, and that was exactly what happened today. Now, I don't even think I was in that at that point. And if we were, we took it real for a few points. But this is a type of setup where you want to buy calls. You know, you want to buy your index, you know, SPY calls. And that way you could hold them and take advantage of the whole run. You know, you could easily see 50-point days on these. I'm not even recording this. We're looking at the market here, and it's explaining how this is kind of a divergence for me, where we see that sideways, we holding above that level on every close, and we're getting closer to that 20. So we're still holding sideways. We get there down over to 20. This is kind of drifted up. But the only thing is there's no volume. And saying, hey, no volume, you know, let's see it work out. And what makes it work out? Why does it work out? Why all of a sudden we're able to identify exactly where that's going to pop? All right? There's algorithms underneath this here probably tracking the same thing that I'm tracking, or at least the momentum is shifting. But why is the momentum shifting at this point? Why isn't it continue to just kind of just drop off or go way down here? It seems lots of times you get this nice harmonic wave action, and it just Hey Christopher, we'll have cocktails after hours again. I think it's just been hectic on my part the last couple of weeks. School ended and stuff. All right, well, so let's see, NVIDIA, what other stocks do we want to be looking at? I want to go through these. We'll let this play out, see where it ends up. I just want to look at a couple more and then send the video on the way and stay with you guys. I got to do some bot work today. I got to get some templates out. Someone was asking about the templates, and someone was asking about some other stuff. And I want to also change some of the labels. I am not having a lot of good time. Not enough free time. Got some emails again. Oh, there, a little popcorn coming in. Anybody live in Idaho? See, look at what happened here. It just gapped down. It skipped price. It gapped. It's so, illiquid that it gapped down. Probably just to grab an order down here and it's going to shoot right back up. Hey, bull trader. Well, I'm glad I'm not in that. That would have been frustrating to see that. It was like almost an ambush. Alright, so after hours here, we came back here. Remember, we were talking about the breakout zone after the Fed area. We discussed it in our chat room actually about the orders up there, a big order, an iceberg, and we broke through it. And what happens is you just get a big slingshot, big move, and then we kind of just consolidated a little and then follow through. Very strong. We were embedded up here. The rotations were flags. We stayed strong and then eventually kind of got up to this level where we sold off right before the close, excuse me. But we came down, kind of pierced it for a second, bounced back above it. Now we're back to it. So I just want to point that out. We're back to that line again, and we're putting a little decent candle. The range has been pretty tight. It's not much going on here, so it's very hard to get my chart to. I want to get it a little bit better. Like, I'll just keep it like that right now. And just as we going before, we kind of gapped here. It was actually starting to move up here. We're looking at this, oversold level, and started popping, and all of a sudden it gapped down and kind of sold off here with a little volume. Now I don't know what caused that, why that happened, but definitely could have been a little program trade or something that just triggered it. And we're running some selling now. Now we're at the lows. The lows is right on that. Right on the trend line here. Well, we had that oversold level, triple stochastic oversold level too. I think there's a slight divergence here happening. No position for me. I was in the middle of doing my emails too. We keep an eye on this stocks. Oh, I know what I was going to do before. Maybe I'll end the video with this. So here we have a Day Trading Radio site. Go to the site here for a second. And go up here to members area. Log in. Alright, that's there. Log it in pretty fast. Let me pause it so it doesn't go like this. It's going to be like crazy. You're going to go to your Rockbot. So what we're explaining is how to get your template, the Rockbot template on here. Core code. Go to the core code. You'll have go up to Rockbot code up here, and then you have your downloads here. Let me make sure you can see that on my screen. Excuse me. Oh, I can see it on the other screen there. Alright, and here's the template. And there should be template instructions right here. So here's your template instructions. It's how to download and install the NinjaTrader chart template. Download the file onto your computer. Template is in the area where you downloaded this text file. After you download it, directly move the file into the same location in your document, NinjaTrader template charts. You can accomplish this by Windows Explorer. So, pretty simple, right? So you're going to go to your template here. You're going to right click on it. You're going to save. Right? Is that how we do it? Let me see. I'm not even sure how to do it these days. Yeah. XML document. Save file. Save it. Remember where it's saved. Downloads. It's an XML file, so you're going to drag that over. So when you have your NinjaTrader, what did I say here on this? General downloads, instruction, template instructions. What are we going to do here? We're going to go to Documents, NinjaTrader, Documents, NinjaTrader, Template Charts. Oh, it's underneath it. That's why. Sorry for the... See, I have so many charts and so many layers. Sometimes it's hard to see everything. NinjaTrader 8. Go to templates. And then chart. You just drop it right in there. You see it's an XLL document. You just drop it right there. It'll say My Rockbot Templates. You just drop it right in there. It'll be default there, but then drop it in there. And then once it's in there, then you can access it on your NinjaTrader. So I did it. I showed how to do it. A good refresher for me too. Go to Documents, NinjaTrader 8. Templates, chart, and then drop it in there, and you move it. So you could, before you go wherever you put it, maybe you put it in downloads. You know, here it is. So you copy it, and then go to where you were going. Documents, NinjaTrader 8, templates. So you're really gonna know how to do it now. And then right click and then paste. Now I already have it in there, so it's gonna say you already have it. See, destination already has a file named My Rockbot Template. So I'll skip it. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just deleted everything. Alright, that's it. That's what I wanted to finish off with. Apologize for some of the dead air on this video, and I'll see you in the markets tomorrow. But hopefully you got some things here, especially on the Veru and the birds and the chart templates, how to download that.